Live from Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob Take on Chiefs Kingdom, a podcast for fans, by fans, where we don't get fancy. It's just two guys talking about a team they love at the bar, at the coffee shop, whatever. That's what we do.
That's right. I'm Buck, and I'm so pumped up about DeAndre Hopkins. I don't want to talk about anything else today.
And I'm Bob, and I'm pretty pumped about DeAndre Hopkins as well. But there's a lot of other stuff that I'm pretty excited to talk about too. So we're gonna get into it.
I'll allow it.
There was something. Oh my gosh, I just blanked. There was something that I really wanted to bring up at the start of the podcast. A controversy from last week that drove me nuts. And now I've completely
forgotten come to you at some point.
Yeah.
Just take notes.
Yeah, I mean,
when you think of something like that,
I should.
But I know, me too.
All right, guys. Well,
I'll be better.
We're gonna start the pod with. We got some voicemails, so we're gonna do those first. Oh. That number is 816-866-1066. If
guys,
you want to call in,
voicemails.
Yes, that's the first ones,
and we got more than one. So,
yep. Then we're going to talk about DeAndre Hopkins.
We're going to talk a lot about DeAndre Hopkins today.
After that, we're going to talk about the upcoming game with the Raiders and. I say it, the Raiders. Stupid.
The Raiders.
They don't deserve. They don't deserve to be called that. Yeah, they don't deserve to be called that.
Oh yeah, they're a shell of a team right now.
Yeah. They used to be the Raiders, but they're not anymore. But yeah, that's going to be the show today. So buckle up, hook in. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now I gotta find my. I gotta find the actual voicemails, but let's just go ahead and start. Here's the first one.
Hey, Buck and Bob. I'm calling from the good old Clearwater, Florida. I'm a fellow Chiefs fan and love what you guys are doing and keep the good Chiefs podcast to come and enjoy listening to you guys.
All right. So that wasn't exactly a question or anything, but I wanted to play it because we really appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to leave ones like that, maybe
please do.
We'll end, if we get them every week, or the weeks we do get them, we'll just play them at the end of the show type of deal, or at the start of the show. I don't know. We're still working on formats and stuff. We have plans to do YouTube videos, which won't be on audio because it wouldn't make sense, but YouTube videos where we go over the game highlights of the previous week, and we talk about the different plays, and we've been planning on doing that. We've got a lot of stuff planned that we're pretty excited for. So yeah, if you guys want to send those just shout outs, do that. And if you want to shout out, any of your buddies that might listen, you can do that too. Just throw in, you love the podcast, shout out to this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that would be really cool. But the next one does have a little bit of a question in it, maybe.
Good to hear from you, Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah, hi. This is Jeremy, and I'm from Lagodi, Indiana. And I was just listening to you guys' podcast, and I gotta say, I love you guys. Love hearing you talk about the Chiefs. I'm a big Chiefs fan. My girlfriend's a big Chiefs fan. And what I wanted to call about was I heard you guys talking about that game, the Falcons game, where the Falcons kicked the ball out of bounds to avoid a fumble because they knew the Chiefs were going to get it. And I think you're right. I think there should have been a bigger penalty on the Falcons for that, more than 10 yards. I feel like it should have been 15 or 20 yards or 30 yards. There needs to be something more than just a 10-yard penalty for kicking the ball out of bounds. That was not right because they knew the Chiefs were going to get it. But yeah, you guys can call me back if you get my number. I'll call you again. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing. I love you guys. I've only been listening to you for about 2 weeks now, and I want more. I want more podcasts, more talking about the Chiefs, and I love you guys. Take care. Bye.
All right, so this is referring to the episode we did right after the game with the Falcons, where the Falcons guy kicked the fumbled ball out of bounds. And
Keep the Chiefs from recovering it. Yep.
Yeah, and I brought up that these types of rules need to be changed. I mean, you would be stupid. Like the Falcons player did the smart heads up play to kick it out of bounds. We shouldn't be incentivizing people breaking the rules to have a better spot. You shouldn't. A penalty should never be helping you, and that penalty helps you. So if we talked about it, if someone kicks it out of bounds, it should be a 20-yard penalty, or loss of down type of deal. It should really hurt you instead of helping you. And yeah,
it should absolutely. However, what we have learned here recently is that when we embrace what the refs have to say and we really internalize it and become fans of the ref game, the refs have been very friendly to us the last couple of games since I've taken on that.
Are you kidding me?
They have.
No, they haven't. I mean, they didn't call the trip on Worthy last week, and there was a penalty also right before that. I mean, I went back and looked, and he was actually tripped. He didn't trip on his own feet like we thought during the game. You look at the footage, and the 49ers defender tripped him.
I was actually more referring to, I mean, the 49ers were more penalized in the game, but I mean, it was legitimate. I mean, it's not that the refs were siding with the Chiefs, but
yeah, and I don't know why you're saying that the refs the refs need to be correct.
No, okay, but it's more of a joke. Like a joking thing that I've been doing here lately. Like I was even joking during the game with you, talking about another penalty on the Niners,
All right, well, your joke did not come through there.
Damn, I give up.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm logging out for the night.
It's okay. Everybody fails at times. But yeah,
all right.
Okay, well, do you have anything to say about those types of penalties, though?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of problems that we've had with penalties this year. The whole kickoff situation in the preseason, where we got what was it? The guy touched the ball while he was in the end zone, and then they didn't know what to do with it. So I think that the refs have a lot of work to do. We've talked about having another ref on the field at times, or maybe up in the booth that has the ability to kind of override something that was miscalled maybe on the field.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me pull you back. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about changing the rules on penalties that don't penalize enough. Like when people do a penalty to make it easier on them, like this kicking the ball out of bounds made it so the Chiefs couldn't recover it, and it was a 10-yard penalty. That's not okay. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, specifically, yes, you're right. But my point was, on a broader spectrum, we've talked about a lot of issues that have to do with rules and the way that the refs are calling it. So that was kind of my point. But yeah, absolutely. If causing a penalty actually, because the outcome was better than it would have been had he not kicked it out, right? The Chiefs likely get that ball. So he kicked it out, took the penalty. I guess it was legal as per the rules. I haven't looked at the rules, but you kind of gotta.
Well, it's not legal. It's a 10-yard penalty, but it's just not enough.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know that there was a big enough stink made, and I don't, maybe the Chiefs did like start pounding the table with the NFL kind of behind the scenes,
They
but I
didn't.
don't think
No,
that there
no.
was.
That's the whole point. Nobody talked about it. Just us. I mean, I watch a lot of Chiefs coverage. Nobody talked about it.
So if we say something's got to change, we don't actually expect anything's really going to change. I mean, the NFL's not watching this, so if podcasters are the only ones that are talking about this thing, then
It's just Buck and
it's just
Bob
fans.
talking about it.
It's
Yeah.
just fans.
But it's see, that's what I think changes our show from other shows. We think about things that other people just take as like, oh, that's just how it is, and that's something in life and everything that I try to point out to people. Well, just because that's always the way it's been doesn't mean that that's the way it should be,
100%, man.
and
Yep.
people need to talk about these different things because that's huge. I mean, it's also, you could hold in the red zone, or like say they're on the 2, you could hold a receiver instead of like letting him get a TD, but it does give them a first down, which allows them quite a bit of opportunity at that point to get it in. But the out of bounds kick is just that rule needs to change. That needs to be, they need to call it, bro, this ain't soccer penalty, like the ref comes out. He goes, we have a bro, it ain't soccer penalty on 98, kicking the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that one though, other than just making it way more severe. And
yeah, way more severe.
Mean, well, the biggest penalty yardage that they can give is 15, right? Unless it's pass interference, but then it's just wherever the ball was, going to land. So they're not going to give more than 15 yards. They're not going to make a 20-yard penalty. I say they're not going to. I really doubt it. I just feel like they would think that 20 yards is just too much.
Well, I mean
that's
pass interference could be 60 yards. I mean,
it could, yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
right.
it's spot of the foul and first down. So maybe,
but that's the differentiation right there, is that there is a spot of the foul, whereas when you're kicking it out of bounds, the spot of the foul is where he kicked it. So then you have to mark off yards, and then you've got to make it a specific amount.
So maybe the penalty is just loss of ball.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think that's too severe for that rule at all.
I mean, it should at least be loss of down. So if it was second down's done. You lose third down. Now it's fourth down. If it was third down, you lose fourth. You lose fourth down, and it's a turnover on downs. That people would never touch their feet to the ball ever if that was a rule. It just wouldn't happen. So those are the type of things I think they should change. But yeah, that was a good one. You want to go on to the next voicemail?
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Jeremy. Thanks for listening.
Jeremy sent another one.
Hey, this is Jeremy from Lagodi, Indiana, and I called yesterday. I heard one of your podcasts about Travis Kelce. You guys talking about maybe he's telling Mahomes to start throwing to these other guys because he's way out the door to be an actor and stuff. But I definitely think there's something going on with Kelce from some of the games that I've seen this year. Especially in the beginning of the 3 games of the year, they show Kelce after they win the game, and he just does not look happy anymore. He looks like something's going on with him where he's distracted in a way, or he's distracted because something's going on with them and him and Mahomes maybe, where they're not communicating right or something. Even though they're good friends, I feel like there's something else going on with Kelce, because you're going to be happy when you win, and sometimes he just don't look happy anymore when they win games. So I don't know if it's his acting career getting in the way, or Taylor Swift getting in the way? I doubt it's her, but I think there's definitely something else troubling him other than just trying to be a good tight end on the football field. So let me know what you guys think on your next podcast if you get this. Thank you and have a good day.
How dare you blame Tay-Tay?
Thank you. No, he was saying he doubt that's the issue. I thank you for not blaming Taylor Swift because it is absolutely not her fault. We kind of went over this in the last podcast, I think, or after the last game, that this may be a strategy where they're just kind of giving him some rest almost. He's out there, and when he needs to catch the ball, Patrick gets the ball to him. But I think they're just kind of laying low with him, and I think he's just kind of playing it off. I could be wrong, and you could be absolutely right, Jeremy. I mean, he could just be getting close to, he's got other things coming in the future, and he's ready to move on. I just don't, man, I don't buy that yet. I just don't. I think he absolutely loves this game still, and he loves this team, and he loves that quarterback, and he loves his coach, and he love a third ring in a row.
Yeah, for me, it's hard to tell. I mean, there's no way we could tell. He's not actually going to be open about anything. Unfortunately, I wish players would be a little bit more open at times about these types of things. But I mean, he just said on New Heights podcast I listened to 2 days ago, he said, he's going to play till the wheels fall off. But I do think it's very possible his head's spinning right now. He went from being one of the most popular tight ends, one of the most popular players in the NFL, to being one of the most famous now people in the world after dating Taylor Swift. I mean, his fame went from, down here, big, like very famous, to one of the most famous people on earth. And that might be messing with his head a bit. It's very possible that it could be.
It is possible, man, but I don't think so, man. I think he's in what, 2 different shows now? He's being pulled in a lot of different directions. I think he's feeling it a little bit, but that's okay. He's still all in on this team. He's still all in on this thing that we have going right now. So I know he is being pulled, and maybe he's tired, maybe he's a little exhausted, but remember how he looked all season last season? I mean, he
for the whole team.
It really was. Yeah, but he was definitely part of that. And then in the playoffs, he was like 26-year-old Travis again. And I mean, just going gangbusters.
Yeah,
I'm not worried yet, but when he's called upon, he's there.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen. But it's definitely possible that his head's spinning and he's a little stressed because of it. Possibly he's not showing it, but if you read between the lines, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. There's no way for us to know, but it is definitely interesting, and we'll just have to see what happens, but I think he's going to be just fine, and I think he is still going to be a contributor, and yeah, when we need him, he shows up. He's been still blocking great. He's been still, a great mentor in the locker room for everybody, and I'm not worried about him. So that's where I'm at.
No, when he gets to the point where he's ready, I don't think he's going to string us all along and make us watch him really go downhill in a season. I think he'll bow out like a man and call it what it is. But like we all know, he's got a lot coming in the future too. So I'm hoping he just decides he wants to ride this wave. As he says he wants to play until the wheels come off, but I don't believe that. I don't. I think that he's got too much to look forward in the after. Once it starts hurting more than he's having fun, I think he'll be done. I think we got another
They were
season
talking
or
of,
two.
they were talking about the anti-inflammatory, and him and Jason's pregame ritual was taken 45 minutes before, and Jason had this like checklist of exactly what time he did everything prior to the game, Jason did, but then Travis was like, man, I need to like write a list down or something, because sometimes I'll forget before we're going out, and I haven't taken that anti-inflammatory. And then we're looking at tape Monday, and it's like, Travis looks a little slow first quarter. It's like, yeah, I forgot to take that anti-inflammatory. So yeah, you should definitely listen to New Heights podcast, because they throw in some stuff that other NFL players won't say, which is pretty cool. So, and Travis, I wish he wouldn't pretend to be a dumbass as much as he does, because he really does pretend to be dumb, and he's not dumb. He just plays it off, and yeah, he's not dumb like he tries to play off, but he does that as a shield, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's actually extremely smart. If you listen to his explanations about games, and he is football smart. Yeah, he doesn't have a great vocabulary. That is true, but that's something that is learned and not something based on intelligence. So
yeah, absolutely.
He was just always, Jason probably learned more because, Travis was the good looking one growing up, right? So he probably, spent less time in the books and more time.
I know what that's like, man.
I was gonna make a, yeah, I'm not gonna say that though, but
I know what that's like, being better looking than your brothers. It's unfortunate for both of them.
All right, well, next is going to be DeAndre Hopkins, but calling a timeout.
Was that all the voicemails?
Yeah, that was.
Okay.
I'm saving a couple for the next episode. We can't do 9 every episode. All right,
maybe we'll start getting 9 every week. All right, yeah, go do your thing.
And we're back from timeout. DeAndre Hopkins comes to the Kansas City Chiefs via a conditional pick trade. So
who?
DeAndre Hopkins.
I feel like I've heard that name before. Is he any good?
Yeah. He was supposed to come to the Chiefs a couple of years back, but he took a payday at the Titans.
I've seen more DeAndre. I feel like I've seen more DeAndre Hopkins highlights in the last 5 years than anybody else. I mean, the man he makes catches that are spectacular.
I haven't seen any of the last couple of years.
Really?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of the last couple of years. I mean, he's had good years, but it's just I haven't seen.
He had over 1,000 yards last year with Levis.
All right, well, let me finish what I was saying so that they know. Right. So he comes to the Kansas City Chiefs via a conditional pick. It is a 5th round pick, but if we make it to the Super Bowl and DeAndre Hopkins plays 60% of the snaps, then it is a 4th round pick.
Okay.
This is unbelievable that we got him so cheap. And on top of that, the Titans even helped us pay him.
Yeah, how'd that go?
So that we can get here. I don't know the exact details, but they paid part of his salary so that we can make the trade happen. Brett Veach must have. I mean, he must have. Powers. It's either that or he's got like dirt on every other NFL. Like he's got dirt on the guy that is the GM for the Bills, and he's got dirt on Miami, and he's got dirt. He must something, because he is a magic man. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins even if we do have to give a 4th round pick for him, I mean, unreal.
Do you not agree that he's a super stud though?
Oh, I've got stats for you, but I'm just waiting to hear your initial thoughts. And there's a lot of different thoughts around the league.
When we were talking a few weeks ago about potential trades and who we could get, DeAndre Hopkins was probably my number 2 to Tyreek Hill.
He was my
But-
number 2 for
But
sure.
he was absolutely, as far as like potential, like actual realistic potential of what I thought the Chiefs would actually go for, he was probably last on that list, with a lot of other receivers that we didn't even talk about would have been in front of. I just didn't see that kind of move coming. And I mean, you're right. Brett Veach is like, he's got something.
He's
Absolutely.
a mastermind.
He's always got an ace in his back pocket to play.
Well, and Hopkins, so I didn't think much of it because Hopkins, there was so many, like when he was a free agent, we thought he was coming to the Chiefs. And then he went to the Titans and it was like, huh? Okay. And so I thought maybe there was bad blood somewhere. There was something that prohibited him, but I think maybe just his age, he wanted a payday. That could be why he went to the Titans, but it could have been that he liked the coach at the time, Vrabel. I don't know. It could have been a lot of different things, but I just didn't think that he would be wanting to come, and I thought that they would want like a second round pick for him, and so I was like, no, and so I just didn't think that was a possibility. So it really blew my mind when I heard about it. And I mean, this is going to be a different type of DeAndre Hopkins is something Mahomes has never had. Well, okay, I take that back. He had it partly with Tyreek Hill. I'm talking about a person that you could throw it to and they will catch it regardless of if they're covered. They're going to catch it. Tyreek Hill is really good at that, but DeAndre Hopkins is a freaking master at it. I mean, this guy does not drop balls. He takes the balls from defenders. It's, he's not really a burner.
No,
like
right.
I've heard a lot of coverage. I think all these different shows that cover like the whole league, oftentimes these guys are not prepared with actually what's going on. Because I heard different people saying that he's going to stretch the field. And I'm like, well, no, unless you're saying that because he's there, Worthy's going to be able to stretch the field more. But like he's not that. I mean, he never really was that guy that really got a ton of separation. He just always caught the ball. It didn't matter if he was, covered. And it's kind of like Travis Kelce. Like Travis Kelce never really got a ton of separation. He just got open. He
found the hole in the defense.
Yeah,
right.
And that's
he got open, and then he would make some plays to get that yak.
Yep, and that's what Hopkins does, and it's going to be huge for our young wide receivers in the locker room too, just to be able to learn from a guy like this. And he's just a real cool guy. So I never in a million years thought we were going to get him. I thought we were going to get maybe Cooper Kupp. I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day after we got Hopkins, and he was saying that he wanted Cooper Kupp, but he's happy with Hopkins. And I was like, are you kidding me? Cooper Kupp's been injury prone for the last couple years. He was like, yeah, but 3 years ago he was the MVP or something like that. I don't even know what he said, but I was sitting there thinking, but he's injury prone. He goes, well, he's was hurt the last 2 years. I was like, that's injury prone. Like, what are we talking about right now? That's injury prone. And Cooper Kupp is also Cooper Kupp is also almost as old as Hopkins, and I don't think he has the wheels. But a lot of people are talking about Hopkins' age.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that, and so what are we? I mean, what were we really expecting to get out of a really good trade, 1 or 2 seasons. I mean, so if that's all he's got left, cool. He can go out as a Chief and maybe 4-peat.
That's
But
the interesting part.
okay,
That's the part that
I didn't even know that.
Hopkins.
Wasn't that a good lead-in? I didn't even know.
Well, Hopkins is what is he, 31, or he's either 31 or
I
32.
think
He's
I heard
32.
31.
He's
Is he?
32.
Okay.
He's according to Wikipedia, he's 32, right?
I edited that. He's actually 31.
Okay. I heard 31 also, but when I was looking into stuff, I saw 32. Now, where do you think DeAndre Hopkins falls in total yards for career, all time, every receiver who's ever played the game? What number do you think he is? Do you think he's like number 43, number 35? Where do you think he falls?
I would. Oh man, he's had some good years. I would guess 20 to 25.
He's the 23rd highest yards receiver of all time.
Right down the middle, baby. Right down the middle.
He's the 23rd. He's 32. Now, what's even more interesting is
touchdowns.
if you look at everybody in front of him, no, you're just totally off. If you look at everybody in front of him, we have, so I'll just go down the list real quick. Art Monk, retired at 38. Irving Fryer, retired at 38. Jason Witten, retired at 38. Steve Largent, retired at 34. Andre Reed, retired at 36. Torrey Holt, 34. Julio Jones, 34. Henry Ellard, 37. Anquan Bolden, 36. Chris Carter, 37. James Lofton, 37. Andre Johnson, 35. Reggie Wayne, 36. Marvin Harrison, 36. Steve Smith Sr., 37. Tim Brown, 38. Tony Gonzalez, 37. Isaac Bruce, 37. Randy Moss, 35. Terrell Owens, 37. Larry Fitzgerald, 37. And Jerry Rice, 42. So everyone in front of him played years past. I mean, there's a couple that, that retired at 34, but just a couple.
35. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of 37s in there. A lot of 37s. So, I mean,
we might have years to go.
Well, how long do we have him with the current contract?
Well, then let me tell you. So this is what those receivers did from bottom to top at age 30, at age 33. So this would be for DeAndre Hopkins on the Chiefs next year. I'm not going to say names. I'm just going to go up. 1,000, 1.3, 560, 912, 699, 722, 1,397, 1,179, around 1,000, around 900, around 900, 1,100, 1,100, 1,300, 800, 800, 400. Yeah, Randy Moss struggled in 2010. 1,100, 1,000, 1,800. Who do you think had 1,800 yards at age 33?
Anquan Bolden.
Jerry Rice. Yeah, that's crazy, right? And Jerry Rice the next year at 34 had 1.2 thousand or 1.2K. But everybody on that list at 34, the majority were over 1,000 yards also.
Yeah, that's a sick stat. That makes me very excited for him next year. But so then my question was, and I don't know if you know the answer, How long do we have him under the current contract that he's playing on?
Ooh, that I don't know. I believe we do have him though. It's not just this year. Yeah.
Oh, now that's exciting.
I think we do have him later. There'll have to be a restructure, I'm sure, of course, but that I'm not positive on.
I think he'll be friendly with his contract negotiations to play on a championship team with this caliber of coaching staff and players and all that. I mean,
he did talk about that in his opening press conference with the Chiefs. He said something that might piss off Titans fans, but he said, I'm excited to play meaningful football again. And
they were 1-5, man. I mean, you can't really.
And then he said, I haven't played meaningful football since I was with the Cardinals and we had the 8-0 start. But you look at it, he still performed, right? He still came out and did his job. He had over 1,000 yards last season with crap quarterbacks, 2 different ones.
Yep.
Might even have been 3. But yeah, I mean, he did his job. I mean, that's so. But
I'm excited. He might get.
Yeah, he might get a fire lit under his ass because, he's now it's super. He's not just meaningful football. He's playing super legendary history making football.
He joined a dynasty. We just got our Randy Moss. I really do. I do. I really do feel like that. I don't. Of all of the players in today's NFL that are in the situation where Randy was at the time, superstars or really very high level of play that are available and going to a current dynasty. I don't think we could have done any better.
He's
only reason
literally number 23 on the list of receiving yards, and 22 and up are gone. They're retired. He is the best receiver in the NFL as far as stats goes right now. As far as career stats goes, he's we just traded for the Travis Kelce of wide receivers.
If he gets so let's just say he adds 1,000 yards to his receiving stats, how many receivers is he going to jump on that list?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me look here. He has 1,000 yards. He will put him at 13,528, which would move him up to number 17, right under Julio Jones.
Wow. And I mean,
but do you think he could do you think he could do 1,000 in 11 games?
I don't think he'll do 1,000 this year. No. If he gets 600 this year, I'm happy, because I think by the time the playoffs get here is when he's really going to be hitting his stride with Patrick Mahomes and the rest of this offense. And that's when it's really going to matter. So I really don't. If we're winning games, I don't care if he gets 30 to 50 yards a game. That's fine. But when we really need it, when it comes crunch time, I think is when it's really going to start to click. So
where do you think Travis Kelce lands on that list of yards receivers?
Oh, Travis Kelce is. Well, he's obviously below.
He definitely is. He definitely is
below.
Yep.
So I will guess he's number 28.
That's really generous, but no. Hines Ward's number 28. He is number 35. Oh, yeah. And Antonio Gates is number 32. I believe he passes Gates this year.
Is Antonio Gates the number? No. Tony Gonzalez was in the top 10, wasn't he?
Tony Gonzalez was number 6 with 15,127 yards. Travis has 1,573.
1,573?
Yep. No, 11,000. Thank you.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I was like,
That sounds wrong, Bob.
so I don't know if he's going to get there. I really don't. That's a lot of yards. That's 4,000 yards. That's 4 seasons at 1,000 yards. And I don't know that he's got 4 seasons left. And I don't know that he's got 1,000-yard season left in him.
Yep.
I mean, it's not going to happen this year.
We don't. Yeah, I mean, you never say never, but yeah, it's super
I didn't
interesting.
say never. I just said it won't.
It's super interesting because there's so few people that are like still playing that are on this list. You have Mike Evans at number 30, Travis Kelce number 35,
How old is Mike Evans?
Devontae Adams. I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't say.
Devontae Adams at 41, Keenan Allen at 46, Tyreek Hill at 49, Stephon Diggs at 50, Amari Cooper at 61, Brandon Cooks at 66, Jimmy Graham at 93, Robert Woods at 111, Adam Thielen at 124. I mean, it's crazy. Like, we literally got the best receiver possible right now. I mean, it's absolutely nuts.
Yeah. I mean, there are no other words to add to that. This was amazing. And just to kind of put an asterisk to what I said earlier and what you said was he was my number 2 to Tyreek Hill, and that's only because Tyreek Hill's history with this team and knowing the offense and being that far ahead. That's it. I mean, if we're talking
Tyreek's
about
like 28 too, and Tyreek I think is going to pass a lot of people although we did find out he was
going to start next week.
Well, no, that's not what we found out. I mean, we did find that out, but what we found out is that we were all wrong about Tyreek Hill. We thought no matter who's throwing to him, he's going to really, make that quarterback look good. And we've found out that ain't the case. Tyreek still needs an amazing quarterback or a good quarterback to throw to him. And yeah, we've found out that he is not Superman and he needs stuff around him.
Well, I mean, somebody of that caliber and that speed needs somebody that can see that much. You've got to lead your receiver, right? So when you got somebody that speed, it's a lot harder to measure that. So yeah, you got to have a good quarterback to throw it to him.
Yep.
I bet he wishes he was a Chief again.
No, I'm sure he does. He got
what
paid.
If Brett Veach made that happen too?
Oh, on top of it, I mean, it is possible we freed up even more cap space. It is possible that Brett Veach is not done. Still has till beginning of November.
Something happened to Sky Moore. He got put on the injured reserve, man.
Oh yeah, Sky Moore. All of a sudden, we trade for DeAndre Hopkins and Sky Moore goes on IR and.
Yeah, he had 10 broken fingers because he couldn't catch the ball.
It's an abdominal something that they said, and I'm just imagining the morning of, we started getting a trade talks with DeAndre Hopkins at 6 a.m. and then Sky Moore wakes up and he's like, I'm not hurt. And then he's like, what? And they're like, yep, Sky, we're just going to need you to take this one.
You're not looking very good, man. You kind of look a little pale.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know why he's...
Quarantine.
I don't know why. I have no idea what the deal is with Sky Moore. Like, maybe he has something, he has dirt on Veach or something. I don't know. But it's weird that we keep... Yeah, I know he's a great guy. I've heard that from a ton of people. I know he, is a team player, but if he can't catch the ball, he can't be a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, they get paid a lot of money to catch a ball. So,
he's been a big bummer.
Get open, a lot of There was a lot of talk about early in his career. He was put back to return punts, and that wasn't his thing. And remember, he muffed a couple of those, and
More than a couple.
there was talk that he was ruined. So I can't remember who they brought in to take over. It might have been Mecole Hardman when they brought him in. But anyway, yeah. So at that point, he was going to be able to focus on receiving, and we were going to see this great progression. And it just has never happened. He's had a couple of catches here and there, but my eye test, my memory of things is it's way more often a disappointment when he is the target.
Yeah, and
it's a surprise when he catches it.
So there's a like a AI rating system that rates all the receivers in the NFL, and he's the lowest rated receiver in the NFL.
Is Kadarius Toney not playing?
I don't think he actually is. I haven't heard anything about him. But yeah, it's bad. But we don't have much more time. We've talked about Hopkins. Tell us about what we got going on against the Raiders.
Man, this is so tough because I'm just kind of going through the roster and I just don't see any. The only name in their whole entire roster that even worries me a little bit is Max Crosby, and he's not playing. So he's injured.
Wait, is he? Have they ruled him out?
Oh, I was looking at last week's injury report. Let me double check.
Because he did practice limited. So I don't know that they've ruled him out. And Max Crosby just scares me because he's a dirty player. Like, I'm just afraid he's going to try to hurt Mahomes just out of spite.
Oh yeah, I truly believe they're gonna come at him with everything. There's gonna be dirty chip shots. I mean, they were talking about that on one of the local radio stations here, 810 today when I was driving home, and they absolutely this was the conversation. Like, they believe that Andy Reid is gonna go to the refs before the game and say, hey, look, we believe that they're gonna take some cheap shots. We've told our guys, if that happens, lay them out. Let them know this is not, so this is going to happen if these things are allowed to progress during the game. So, that was the belief of the guys. And I think, I think that could be.
I'm just glad they're not in Oakland anymore, because then we would have to worry about double D batteries getting thrown at Mahomes. So at least we don't have to worry about that. That was a thing that happened multiple times in Oakland.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing. This doesn't really.
But yeah, so I mean, they got rid of their star wide receiver. Their other receiver is hurt, I believe.
Gardner Minshew,
Jacoby Myers did not practice.
Had a lackluster season. They've taken him out at times. I watched a game earlier this season when, they weren't even down by, I think, 10 or 15 points. They took him out to put in, what was it? Aiden O'Donnell. I can't remember his name now. I got it right here. Oh yeah, Aiden O'Connell. And he played even worse than Minshew. So I think if there's going to be pressure, like there has been the last several weeks from our defensive line, this is going to be a long day for Raiders fans.
We'll see if they actually, the refs don't like to call holding for Jones, even though he's held on every other play.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the refs are on KC's side. Bullshit. Oh, excuse me. I said bullshit. Oh,
you all right?
Bullshit. Oh, sorry. Just had something in my throat. But yeah, it's they have a ton of people injured, although lots of them did practice. Our injury report looks good. I mean, we stuck a bunch of people on IR, but
Juju's not going to play.
You sure? He's still questionable. The only one I see right now is out is Mike Dana.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from what they were saying on the radio today, it doesn't sound very good for Juju to play this week, but we got DeAndre playing, so
And Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
is he coming back?
I mean, he had a full practice.
Hey, look, I'm good with that. I mean,
I know you like him a lot more than me. I think
we'll see a running back. I think we'll see maybe a running back line up outside in a wide receiver position every once in a while this week, kind of like we do with or we did with Travis Kelce a lot in years past. So, we're down a wide receiver, right? If Juju doesn't play, we got Hopkins to replace him, but they just put more on injured reserve to bring Helaire back. So even though we acquired a receiver, we're still down one for this week. Maybe they'll bring Nico back.
Well, I thought what's his Marquise
DeMarcus Robinson?
No, Marquise Valdez MVS. Marquise Valdez Scantling. I always mess his name up. Why do you guys use hyphenated names? It's silly. Stop doing it. Hyphenated names make no sense. Are you going to give your kid like 3 hyphens? Like
my kid has a hyphenated name.
It's horrible. Stop doing it, people. Stop. Just choose one or the other and cool. Like it makes no sense as you go through the years, because if you keep doing that type of practice, you're going to be blah, 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 and you're going to have 5 names with hyphens. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm putting my foot down and saying it's silly. It's silly. Like, just pick the cooler name. Like, if I had it to do over again, I would take my wife's last name when I got married. Men, you should think about it. Think about it. Like, take the cooler name. And don't do the hyphenated names. But yeah, like, okay, so I thought we were going to sign him, but he signed with, what? Oh, shit.
Saints?
I think it was the Saints. I think it was, but I thought that was weird. Like, there must be some bad blood or something, because why would he not want to come back to the Chiefs? I just thought it was weird.
Maybe they hadn't received an offer yet, and they were just going to kind of go with the first one that came to them. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue, but it's interesting. It seemed like a foregone conclusion that he was coming back. I really thought that.
But I think DeMarcus Robinson is still available too, so it wouldn't surprise me if he was with the team next week. So
I would take, we talked about it when we first talked about trades. I would take Robinson back in a second.
I'm not a hater at this point. Whatever Brett Veach does, if he picks up the cleaning lady off the street, I'm going to be like, you know what? He found something that she's going to be fantastic at, and it's going to benefit this team, because he can really do very little wrong except for Sky Moore.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is we talked about it before, and you and me and many other people think that the Chiefs drop one of their 2, possibly 3 losses this season to a team that they should not even come close to losing to. And that's what scares me about this week with the Raiders. Is because,
remember Christmas Day?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
what year was that, by the way?
Last year they beat the Chiefs. Yeah,
okay.
And they manhandled us.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was the Christmas year, like 2 years ago.
They were talking about that on the radio too, so it was kind of fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I was at the Christmas Day one, but we won't talk about that because
I think they played on Christmas Day a few times over the last few years, though. So, but last year it was the year when the Raiders just manhandled us.
But they also had,
and I think
they still had Derek Carr. Then I'm pretty sure.
And that's going to be fresh in the Chiefs' mind. And the whole Kermit the Frog debacle in the preseason where they were making fun of Mahomes. It's like, really? I mean, have you not watched the Super Bowls? Like, look what he did to the 49ers when they gloated a little bit too much. Like, don't give this guy ammunition because that's all he needs.
Honestly, I don't think it's even. I think Mahomes is the type of person. See, because I grew up with a stutter, and you just learn to just go with it and just embrace it, and then people can't make fun of you if you just embrace it, and you're like, yep. And that's what he does with that. I don't even think it makes Mahomes mad. I think it makes the other 52 people on the roster mad. And they are like, you don't talk about Mahomes like that.
I don't think it makes him mad. I think it motivates him to be like, you guys are going to mock me? All right, well, hold my beer. I mean, like, I'm about to trounce you.
He's like, 13
seconds. 13 seconds. 13 seconds. Everybody knows what that, every Chiefs fan knows what that means.
Yep.
That means don't sleep on Patrick Mahomes.
They do have two pretty good tackles, but their interior offensive line is really rough. So I think Chris Jones gets in on the Raiders quite a bit, even with the constant holding that the refs won't call.
Yeah, I really don't see any kind of reality where their offense. Man, I feel like the offense is going to have a worse day than the 49ers did last week. Honestly, 49ers have some real weapons on the field, and it just doesn't seem like the Raiders really have much.
Yep.
So I just don't see a reality where they really do too much. I mean, this game should be a sleeper in the second half.
The one thing that the Raiders have in their pocket that the 49ers didn't have is the Raiders have no expectations whatsoever. So they can just come out and play ball, whereas the 49ers had a ton of expectations and, stress on their shoulders, whereas the Raiders are like, we're just going to play ball, see what happens, And those sometimes are the scariest teams. Those are the scariest teams when you're leading up to the playoffs. They got nothing to lose. And I'm a little worried about that. But I do think we win. I don't see how we couldn't, but you never know. I mean, but I'm excited to see DeAndre Hopkins play and see, it's a good practice game for him, see what he can do. Be interesting. I don't know. Mahomes has never had a weapon like him. So I don't know that Mahomes instinctively will know to throw it to him when he's not open. I mean,
he might have to learn
weird. That. Yeah, it's going to be weird for him. He's never had it in his entire career. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they're able to create with just a few days that they've had to kind of work with him to get him integrated in on Sunday. I think every single week is going to be a big step up for him for at least 4 or 5 weeks. So, but yeah, I can't wait to see what he does this week. So my prediction is 50 yards and a touchdown for D Hop.
Okay. 50 yards, a touchdown. I mean, I'll go as far as to say that he gets over 100.
Ooh.
And I don't know about a TD, but I think he goes over 100 yards.
I think that's about the same. 100 yards, no TD, and 50 yards with a TD is about the same kind of game. So,
but I'm just thinking they're going to try to make a statement, and I think Patrick's going to try to get him excited about being a Chief, and yeah, I think he has a good game. Is there anything else a fun stat for you that I wanted to tell you that I didn't get a chance to tell you during that talk, but at age 40, Jerry Rice with the Oakland Raiders achieved 1,211 receiving yards at age 40,
I forgot he played for
catching
the Raiders.
92 passes on 150 targets and scoring 7 touchdowns that season. Age 40.
That's
I had
ridiculous.
forgot that he played that long. It is absolutely absurd.
I remember
I'm
that
pretty
he
sure
played into his
Rich
40s,
Gannon
but-
was his quarterback during then. 2002?
One of the biggest mistakes in Chiefs history was taking Elvis Gerbach back and getting rid of it.
Oh, yeah, it was
Rich
so
Gannon.
bad. And then Rich Gannon just went and made us really regret our decision-making.
Yes, he did.
Thanks, Carl Peterson.
Yeah, big mistake.
So glad he's gone. He spent
Mhm.
way more time whining and dining than actually doing his job in the later years.
Yep. Brett Veach has done a phenomenal job.
Absurd
I
job.
I can't think of another general manager that's just had the success rate.
If he hasn't, if he's not currently, because we currently have the highest paid coach and the highest paid defensive coordinator of the year. If Brett Veach is not the highest paid GM, we need you to get on that. We need you to we need you to pay him, because wow.
Yeah. What a crazy find that was. And that was an Andy Reid thing, remember? He kind of worked for Andy Reid. It was almost like he was an assistant type guy. And then whoever the last GM was, it the guy from New England?
Was
Can't remember.
Pioli the one before Veach?
I think so. Yeah, Pioli.
Yeah, he was the one that came from,
and then
he got us the Todd Haley head
yes,
coach, and then Herm Edwards, and
Mhm.
I did like Herm Edwards. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
love Herm Edwards. He kind of got a raw deal, absolutely. But yeah, when Veach came, it was Andy Reid was like, "Well, look, this is my guy, and I work really well with my guy." The Chiefs were like, "I mean, who? But you are Andy Reid, so we're gonna go with it. We'll take a chance and see what happens." And there's been zero regret.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's been a whole ride with Andy.
I think Andy Reid got a lot of the credit for some of the stuff Brett Veach did early on, even though Andy was always quick to give it. I don't always believe Andy when he's giving credit to other guys, because I think he's that kind of coach, that kind of leader. He's going to give it all away, right? So I don't always believe him when he says that. So when he was saying that about Brett Veach early on, I was like, okay, sure, I mean, whatever. But now, I mean, there's no way that he could fool that many people for that long, letting Andy do all his work and him just collecting a paycheck. There's just no way. I mean, he is the real deal. He really, him and Andy have a special relationship. God, we are so lucky to be Chiefs fans in this day and age.
We definitely are. We definitely are. Yeah, I'm the other thing when we're talking about coordinators is I still just don't know about the offensive coordinator, just because, and I mean, it could be happenstance, just, is when the league latched on to the double high safety, but we haven't been the same offense since Eric Bieniemy left. But at the same time, the last year Eric Bieniemy was here, we weren't the same offense, but we didn't have weapons. So, there was that first year Tyreek was gone, but that is one thing where you're like, kind of like, I don't know. But
yeah, there's something that you said earlier this season that's just stuck with me too. That's one of the big differences. And the more I watch, the more I'm really latching on to this is the whole Patrick Mahomes really staring down his receivers, and he's really not looking off the defenders nearly as much as we know he's done. I mean,
he did it constantly.
Yeah, I mean, the replays of that are so clear, and and obvious that that's what he did and that's what he was good at. And I would really like to see him get back to that, man. I really would. I
Same.
can't. There's just no way that you were the only person to notice that. Just watching on the TV, it's just
Well, maybe we should say, this is why you should watch this podcast. Listen to this podcast because we do
Somebody
pay attention.
Andy Reid our card. He needs to see this.
Well, so what we need to do is we need to, go to a game. We need to run on field. We're going to get arrested doing it. But if we both run on, at least one of us,
all of our cards out.
At least one of us will get a card to Andy before.
We'll do that. We'll throw out a bunch before we jump the fence. And then everybody, people will pick them up once they see that we're running, right? And then we'll just throw a whole bunch at Reed's feet just as we're running by. Maybe stick one in his pocket.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But if anybody wants to do that for us, we'll give you cards.
Heck yeah. And you can come on with us.
No, actually, guys, don't jump on the field. It's a total joke. Don't jump on the field.
Don't do it at all. No.
No, you really should. You will go to jail. I can tell you that.
That's right.
I can tell you that for sure.
That's
for
true.
Reasons.
But if you leave a voicemail and say, hey, could I get a stack of your cards for just whatever reason? Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. We'll gladly oblige.
All right. Well, do you have anything else, Buck?
DeAndre Hopkins.
I know.
That's all I got to say.
D-Hop. Oh, D-Hop. Give me that D-Hop. Oh, D. Oh, D-Hop. Up. No.
No.
Sad. I tried, guys. I tried. I don't know. I think we could, like, if the whole stadium, D-Hop, hop, D-Hop. No. Maybe we can work on it. We can work on it, figure something out.
How about everybody hop instead of jump?
No, I like the Hanson reference more, especially now that we're playing Taylor Swift stuff in the stands.
Oh, come on. I'm all right with the Taylor Swift. You know what? Look, my 4-year-old loves Taylor Swift, and I don't mind her music. It's not bad. Some of it's actually kind of good. But Hanson,
he was like,
no.
I was like, yeah. Something. I don't know. I like some of the songs for sure, but I don't know the words. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I haven't listened to them that many times. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys send us a voicemail with what you think the chant should be. What you think.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Clearwater, Florida. Please keep calling in. We'd love to hear from you.
If you want to call in to the voicemail or send a text, it's 816-866-1066. We have had people ask if they could call into the show live. We're not currently doing that. I don't know. We don't have plans to do that, but you never know. Never say never, but it's most likely not going to be a thing just because, we're live and stuff. And it's just, it's you're taking a chance with people you don't know. It's, not something, we don't have like a radio station where they, are listening to it 5 seconds prior.
I want to do it, so I'll work on Bob, guys. Don't worry.
But if you want to find any of our links, find us on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, you can go to buckandbob.com. That's BUKNBOB.com. And
Buck. He's Bob.
Yeah, and that's how you find everything we have to offer. And Buck, where can we find you?
As always, I'm on Facebook, and you can find me on Twitter. It's at Buck_tastic, BUK_TASTIK.
And you can find me on X at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. All right, let's get out of here.
How about DeAndre Hopkins?
How about the Hopkins? No.
The Chiefs. How about the Chiefs? with
How
DeAndre
about
Hopkins.
Kansas City?
All right. Well, have a great night, guys. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you guys after the Raiders game.